turning 50 is such a period of reflection, and I wanted to commemorate my 50th with something significant philanthropically. I'd been thinking about it for over 2 years, and it kept coming back to students and helping students. We had made a significant investment at SFU, the Beedie School of Business, in 2011, and the main motivator behind that was to help students with the cost of education, scholarships, bursaries, that sort of thing, so that students could access education in the way that I did growing up when costs weren't as high. And we know that there are many students who just can't access education, so I thought, well, what a way to try to help bridge that gap a little bit, and again have a positive impact on a whole group of people who might not otherwise get education. My dad, growing up, he didn't have, the business only really became quite successful, I think, more in the 80s and 90s, but in growing up in the 70s, he would sponsor baseball teams and soccer teams, and he was community engaged and involved, even though the dollars weren't that significant, but I think that planted a bit of a seed in terms of what's expected, and as we've grown, I just think the philanthropic side should scale up with the success in the business, but just the impact that education could have on people and on their families and the multi-generational impact. That kept coming back to me. Overall, it's a positive program, but I think it might need some tweaking. We're going to be a bit more targeted in our approach as opposed to just a blanket. We need to find the students who have the drive, the determination, and the smarts, and the capabilities. But what about these students who, if they were in that different household, maybe they would have those same marks as well, or if they could afford to have the tutoring, etc. So we're trying to sort of even the score a little, create a bit more of a level playing field. These are ideas now. This is going to evolve as we go, but we're pretty confident that we're on the right track, and we think it's not just writing the check, here you go, and throwing them to the wolves. It can be a real adjustment, and you want them to feel like they belong at this institution, that they're not an outsider. So that support, I think, early on, I think is going to be critical for us, and that's how we're going to measure success. What is our graduation rates? How are these students doing? How are we helping them in terms of job placement and career path? It's quite ambitious. These are big goals, but this is what we're aspiring to do, and it's very exciting. Year one will be Metro Vancouver students that are applying to, say, 8 partner institutions for year one, but year two will be throughout British Columbia, 100 students in year two. So if someone wants to go to college in Nanaimo, for instance, they would still qualify. We really want to work out some of the kinks. There's going to be bumps along the way. We know that. Let's prove this out. Let's learn and then scale it up. And I think that's the prudent approach. To know that you can impact people in that way is it's just game-changing stuff. It really is, and it makes me happy. It makes me proud of myself and what we're trying to do.